We're good.
Awesome. Well, welcome everybody to the call. I know we just came off of a super exciting weekend for most of the people on here who attended RAW, which was amazing, amazing, amazing. And, you know, one of the things I just love so much about it is that, sorry, I'm just gonna, there's lots of noise in my background, so excuse that. But what was so exciting about it is all the new people that came out, all the first time people, all the people who really maybe had never been to a big event before who came. So I was just super excited about that. And for any of you who missed it, just a reminder that starting today was free enrollment. So free enrollment starting today all week long for anybody who enrolls on 150 BV or greater order is going to get that free membership. So I think that's huge. It's a great way to just kind of jump off of the weekend that we just had. And then also this week is kind of, you know, it's the end of February, beginning of March, and just to stay tuned and look at, make sure you're tuning in to Freedom Builders, because there's going to be a lot of posts over the next week or two about opportunity meetings in different locations. So make sure you're checking in, because I know that, for example, Dr. Renata and Dr. Paul and Elizabeth, is that who it is, Renata?
Carol Elizabeth.
Carol Elizabeth is going to be hosting one next Thursday. I know there's going to be one in Barrie, March 9th. There's one in Orangeville. There's one. So I know that they're going to be, Tracy, you're hosting one with Tara out east. So make sure you really check into all of this, because there's going to be a lot of opportunity meetings to really kick off from. And I know corporate,
can I just add in, if anyone, I don't know if you noticed yet, but I think Tina did post it, and I did as well, that this Wednesday, which is March 1st, there's that corporate Zoom one that Janie Snellgrove is doing. I'm going to help her with that one this week. So that's a great one for people. If you can't get people in person somewhere, bring them on this in the comfort of their own home, because this is free membership week for Canadians.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. So we want to really take advantage of this opportunity. And one of the things that I took away from the UK when they were talking about the UK as well, which is important, is that it's you know, it's free for them right now. So making sure that really we're connecting with people in the UK. One of the things I'm committed to doing, and I'm just going to start posting, is opportunity meetings for people in the UK. I have a chiropractor who just started today in the UK, and she is aggressively ready to build, because of course they can be putting people in. So as soon as it goes live, you know, you can have people rank advancing to executive literally in a day, right? So I'm going to be hosting opportunity meetings for that. And anybody can come on, really, but it's going to be more UK geared, so that we can tailor to those as well. So I'll be posting that. So today what we thought we would do is, one of the ways that I know I've learned best in the past, and when Tina and I were talking, is to hear what people's takeaways are from events. And just because we had this big event, we just thought it'd be great if we could all maybe just share, like, what was a huge takeaway you took away from the event? Because we all take away different things. We all hear different things, interpret things differently. And certainly for people who will be listening to the recording who maybe weren't even at RAW, it's going to be a great opportunity for them to just catch a whole bunch of gems that came out of the event, and takeaways that they're ready to implement. And one of the things that it reminded me of is really the culture of our team, right? Is having a team culture. And when I got back, I don't know how to show you guys. I haven't mastered that part of this whole thing, but I cleared off my whiteboard in my room. That is my office. And I redesigned it, because I was like, I need to get clear. I loved how, I forget who said it, how he said, you know, he had stuff permanently on his whiteboard to remind him about being duplicatable and things like that. So my take home was, I felt like there's a certain amount of things that every single person who presented at the event all had the same, you know, they all had the same 5 things basically, right? And I thought it kind of fits perfectly into what we've been talking about the last couple of weeks with the culture of our team. So the first thing is using IsaSales Tools to Go app. And I think that's so key, and really we want it to be the culture of our team, because this is a great way to use to prospect, to be dripping on people, to be coaching people, and to be leveraging our time and energy. Because one of the things that I think people are worried about is that they're going to have to spend so much time coaching. And so with this, then it's a great way to leverage your time and energy and have Isagenix do a lot of the coaching with us, a lot of the prospecting, a lot of the. And so looking at the IsaSales Tools app and making sure you have that, making sure the desktop, and talking about it right from the beginning with people who want to share, I think is really important. I sure wish I had this tool when I got started with Isagenix, because I feel like it's just a great way to manage things. And even Sabrina told me at the event, which I haven't even really tapped into, but the whole tax, like you can actually, manage your taxes on there. Like there's just so much stuff that you can do on there. So we want to be a culture of leveraging our time and using the systems and the tools. And one of the first things is that IsaSales tool. The second thing that we really want to be a culture of is enrolling people with the sticky products. They talked about it again. In fact, they did a highlight on 2 of them, which is the Isa Delights and the Ageless Essentials. And why they're sticky products is because it's stuff that we constantly use. We go through it. It helps us get through things. It's replacing stuff we're already doing, right? So remember, it's the Ageless Essentials, it's the bars, it's the Isa Delights, it's the Isoline Pro, right? So we want to be making sure that sticky products are part of what we're doing when we enroll as our culture. The third thing we want to be a culture of is the Isa Body Challenge and the Healthy Mind and Body. I don't know how many times people talked about that at this event. And I think it's because, number 1, it increases retention. Number 2, it increases order basket. And most importantly, it increases the customer experience. And we all know that if people have an amazing customer experience, then they're going to want to stay on and continue using the products. The fourth thing was using the new associate interview. And if you saw, like, everybody who presented really talked about that new associate interview and using that as a way to keep track of their goals and things like that. And then the last thing is to plug people in, right? We want to make sure that we're plugging people into our team, to our Facebook group, to our culture, to this call, so that they can have that experience, and we want to be plugging them into events. And so if we look at things in that light, then I think those are the things that everybody's doing that was the top earners that are presenting. And really, I think the things that we've been talking about in our team for the last couple of weeks and really need to make the culture for our team. So that was a huge takeaway that I saw, was that we're doing a lot of the things and talking about the things that the leaders are doing, and that we can do that, and we can create a culture around that in our own team. So I thought that was great. Now I'd love to just hear about some other shares. I know we had some amazing speakers. Thanks, Dr. Renata, for just totally rocking it on the stage. Amazing speaker. She totally brought up the level for everybody. I forget who said she was like a caged lion that had to stand up. It was just so true. It's like, get up there and rock things. So she did an amazing job. Obviously other speakers, but what were other people's takeaways? Let's just open it up. Who wants to share first? I know people do. Oh, Killian, awesome. Take it away. Make sure you're unmuted.
Yeah, it was a crazy event. My first one ever. My massive takeaway. My kids have always been my why, but going further to that, I now realize that I want to build a legacy. I want to leave that for my kids. So that was redefined. Sunday morning was crazy. I woke up and I just energized, and I had a pretty emotional moment. But yeah, so new things, and just developed this whole wall thing behind me and ready to go. That's it.
Awesome. I noticed your wall thing, which is so cool. I love it. And I think that's awesome, right? People talked about it, like having a why, and then all of a sudden your why gets so much bigger. So it was your family, but now it's just creating this legacy for them. So I think that's a really cool takeaway. Awesome. Thank you. Who else would like to share?
I'll jump out.
Thanks. Yeah.
So for me, like, this event was really, obviously it was so incredible for so many different reasons. You know, some of the things I've heard different times because I've been to many different events, but my very first celebration was a few months after I started, and I did everything I could in my power to get my butt to that event because I wanted to feel what it was about, because I thought, if I'm going to hitch my wagon to this, I want to know that this is real, and this company is not about the money. This company is about people and about helping people. And Celebration, my very first one, solidified. When I went to the first Celebration almost 6 years ago, I think you were there, Michelle, San Diego. There were only 5,000 people. No, you weren't at that one. There were only 5,000 people at that celebration. The last celebration, there were 16,000 people. So when you think about this RWKO, there were almost 3,000 people. So just imagine where it's going to be in the next couple of years, because it just continues to grow. And that for me was just such an incredible realization. And I loved the fact that so many of you stepped up and made it happen, because I know for a lot of you it wasn't simple, but it was so beautiful to see the eyes lighting up, to see the excitement, to hear the takeaways, you know, to witness the experiences that you guys were having, and the side conversations and the people that you met were really, really powerful. I know for myself, you know, I always get so much from everyone, but Pam Barnum had one of her, I just want to read you my favorite quote was the Pam Barnum one. Oh, she said, it was a thing she put up on, it was a picture that was of a tunnel, and it was really cool. And it said, instead of looking for the light at the end of the tunnel, I just lit that sucker up myself. And I just thought that was so powerful, because it's like, we're always looking, you know, I have, you know, very often I'll make it about myself. I constantly look sort of for the next best thing, the next big secret, you know, the next seminar, the next book I read, the next whatever is going to be the one that takes me that next place. But it's like, you know what? Stop looking for the light at the end of the tunnel. You guys have everything. It's all in here. We all have it right in here. It's just about doing the do and making it happen. So that was my huge takeaway from the weekend. So
that's awesome. I love that. I loved how she had to put sucker in, but that she said another word, and it takes it to a whole new level. So I love that. Awesome. Renata, yeah, thanks.
So I thought it was so, it didn't even matter what anyone said, right, guys? Like, you could just feel the energy, and it's not what you say. And that's just proof. It's not what you say to anyone. It's all physiology. It's all your energy. You could say boo, and they're going to join you. But if you say boo with certainty and with love and excitement, they're going to join you. But if you say boo, they're not going to join you. And that's it. Like, I'm so grateful that they invested in Canada, because all of us, and even if they're non-Canadians here, but just so you guys know, Canadians are worth it. We're worth it. And this event, I think, was massive for us as a country, as a community. I think it was huger. I think they're so smart. Obviously they are, if they're $1 billion company. They just, everything they're strategizing, it's so wonderful. And I think it was so great for all of us to take part in it, because I don't know about you, but I'm sure every single person here feels like 10 feet taller from this event. Do you not? Like, don't you feel that certainty of what you're a part of and the potential of what you can do? Like, I think it was so amazing, because like Tina mentioned, it's so hard for us to get to, some of us, to those American events, let alone this Toronto one was so hard for a lot of people here. And to be able to put this, you know, so close that so many more of us can partake in, Canadians. I don't think there's ever been 3,000 Canadians at a celebration, right? Or at a big Isagenix event. So this was a huge, I think, game changer for everybody and for the whole country. I'm very excited for everyone.
Yeah, that's such a valid point, Renata. Thanks for bringing that up, because it is so true. I loved, I don't know who said it, but they said, you know, you can't say the wrong thing to the right person, but then you don't have to say you know what I mean? Or whatever they said. And it was like, yeah, it's just so true. You could just say whatever to somebody, but if you have that conviction, then they're gonna listen to you, right? It's like we get also fumbled up about what we're gonna say when it's like just speak from the heart and do it, and then that's it. Because that's such a great point. It's just our physiology, it's our energy, right, that we're bringing to the table. So that's awesome. Does anybody else want to share? Oh, Killian has something. Yeah, take it away. You're muted. Thank you.
Thanks. I hope he's on the call. My buddy Crosby is actually on the team, and he's not on Facebook or anything like that. But what ended up happening was he was a pirate first thing Saturday morning, and by Sunday he's now a consultant. So massive shout outs to him taking huge action. He's been checked into the 90-day plan, and he's on fire. So massive shout outs to you, Sir Crosby.
Awesome. He is on here, I think. So that's awesome.
Killian, can you just share what a pirate means?
So sorry. Yeah, pirate got that term from Sabrina. Massive shout outs to Sabrina. That's when you have one person. You're just waiting for that second person to go consultant. So you're, kind of in between. You got one eye.
One leg pirate.
Hopping along. Awesome. Well, congratulations. That's great. That's just really the power of events, I think, when you just start to see the excitement, you're around the people and you're like, yeah, okay. It really builds your belief and it builds your comfort and all those sorts of things, right? So I think that's huge. Yeah. Would anybody else like to share something that they took away from the event? Something that Tara. Woohoo.
I will, yeah. I'm having issues with I couldn't hear everybody talking, so hopefully I'm not repeating somebody already said, but for me, it's just, it's the first event I've had team that went with me to an event, so I'm so happy that they did do a Canadian event, so I could actually, it's a huge deal to try and convince people to go to Las Vegas, especially in the summertime. So to be able to get people there was awesome, and we just kept joking all weekend that I was always the lone wolf, and now I have my wolf pack. So that was awesome, and now I have more people going to Celebration already than I had in Toronto, so I'm pumped about that. But really, this event for me, aside from that and just showing the power of events, is just building more belief. That panel that David Wood did in the leadership with Kathy Coover, I finally really connected with her, and I felt like how much integrity this company has, and I have my belief in the company is definitely greater leaving that event. And then also my belief in myself. Even, just from being surrounded by that energy and just the things people say to you that you don't realize the impact that you have on them, because we all kind of have our confidence issues, and I don't know, it's just awesome to get that. So I'm gonna start crying. I'm done.
I love it. It is so true. It's like you just don't know. That's what's so powerful about it, is you just don't know how much you're going to impact somebody by just saying it, because how often are we really around people that build us up? Think about our careers, think about our families, and for a lot of us, Tara, you work alone kind of, right? I work alone. We're not, we just don't hear those things. And, so it's so great. So thanks for sharing that, Tara, because it's so vulnerable and it's so true, right? So that's awesome. So powerful. Yes. And I love this quote in the chat bar. I'm going to say Chicky wrote it because I love that name. That Pam Barnum, she took away that enthusiasm is great, but action is what is needed. So that was one of her takeaways that I love. So that's great. Does anybody else want to share?
Can I do a shout out?
Yeah.
So Aaron he's hiding right now, but he's here. I just want to give a shout, David Wood always says how we do anything is how we do everything. And Aaron he was gifted a ticket, and because he decided that he would be able to do his best to make it as much as he can this weekend. And we all, like Michelle had said, and we've all said, I think it was Renata said, that people make sacrifices. Aaron was actually working part of the weekend. He had clients in Whitby to train. He's a personal trainer, but he also is an athletic therapist on a volleyball team for York U, I believe, and they were playing in a tournament this weekend. So he was going back and forth between Whitby, driving, you know, the train and transit and all that stuff to be there as much as he could. And he probably made it to almost over 50% of it. And I just want to give a big shout out to him because of that. And now he's like on such a mission, but he just made it happen. He was like, I'll sleep later. This is too important. So big shout out to you, Erin, my friend.
Yeah, his saying is webcam can't work, but awesome. Yeah, it was so great to see you there, and it is true. He was just driving all over the place to make it happen, and that's so cool. That's what's going to drive you to be so successful, Erin, is that drive that you have and that commitment. So that's awesome. Anybody else like to share? How about somebody who doesn't normally share anything? Anybody want
to volunteer someone?
Michelle, I'll say something.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
There's a couple takeaways. Lori Clark's piece on connecting, how she came out and made it so simple by pretending she was a little girl and going up and knocking on her friends' doors, asking them to come out and play. I mean, for years, I've just overcomplicated things. And now it's just like, oh, I just want to call somebody and talk to them and ask them how they are and how they're feeling. And if they say they don't have any energy or they're not sleeping or they feel like crap, then I can say, oh, well, you know what? I might have a solution for that. And then just leave it at that and let them ask me in return. So I found that really helpful, just the simplicity of, can you come out and play? The other thing I found really valuable was Janie's piece at the very end and her visualization with the balloon. I've been to 4 major events now and lots of Super Saturdays, and every time I leave an event, I was like her first balloon. I was deflated after every single event, and this time I'm not. I'm setting my own pace as she suggested. Today I did a review of everything that we went over, and I kind of highlighted the things that really stood out to me, started my 90-day game plan today, and I'm setting my pace. I've actually set up office hours, that sort of thing. I'm not going to go out of the gates on fire. I know that, because if I do that, I'm going to burn out. And it takes me a long time to recuperate. So I'm going at my pace. My pace is okay. If you want to be a rocket ship, be a rocket ship. That's awesome. And I'm so happy for you. If you want to take it slow like a turtle, that's okay too. Because no matter what pace we do, we're all going to get to where we want to be at the end of that light at the tunnel. So go at your own pace. Thanks.
Well, Michelle, those are amazing takeaways. And you know what? Alistair really resonated with that too, Michelle, in the path, right? He loved that whole thing, and just thinking to be writing down what you could do, not what you should do. And it's this distinction, right? Is we say all these things. So I love that takeaway, because I think lots of people feel exactly the same way that you do. And did you want to share?
Sure. To me, this was my first event, and I really liked everything about when we started breaking down the 90-day action plan and advice and guidance on how to talk to people and how to grow your business. I honestly found it overwhelming, and I think that's part of why I shied away from really talking about it and doing things. So I really appreciated the tips and the scripts and everything, so I don't feel so overwhelmed now. So I really enjoyed the weekend. I'm just glad I could make it.
Awesome. Well, we're definitely glad you can make it too. I think that's just the power of it, right? Is those takeaways. So thank you. Does anybody else? I know we're getting to the bottom of the hour. Anybody else want to share a takeaway they had from this weekend? Oh, Renata. Oh, and Val. Okay.
Oh, no, I would ask Val, and then I'd ask Sabrina to step out and give her takeaway.
Okay. Okay, we're going Val, then Sabrina.
Well, to be me, Jesse. Val's on cold, so she's not talking. One of the biggest takeaways I took away was from Dr. Paul, or Arcerio with all the science talk he gave. Just so much validation of all the products and just how they work, and how good they are. I took so many notes down during his presentation, and just some of his information on protein pacing. And also, it's not about how much you eat, it's when you eat it. And also, most diets, how they work short term, but ours actually is meant for the long term. So, and just the validation that he provided, and just all the information that he gave was so good and informative, and it helped. And some of the stuff that he had suggested, I'm going to try to put to use in myself right now, and then be able to share that with others as well.
Mm-hmm. No, that's great. It is so nice to have that kind of research behind us. And I loved how Susan took the research a little bit further, and just making sure that we don't have to be experts in it, but at least know it so that you can provide the right information to the person. You know, like not everybody wants to start on the 30-day, but they could do the ageless essentials, the protein, the bar, like that kind of system for that. So I thought that was a great takeaway too. Thank you. Sabrina, you're up.
Okay, so how much time do we have? Because I have so many takeaways from this weekend. I would say one specific thing, and I have it right here, is the new associate checklist. Don't look at the name. This is something that I had been using consistently around the clock for a while now, since it's launched. And I have to say that this has really taken me from point A to point Z. It made a massive difference, but I felt that there was a reoccurring pattern of every single leader was touching on new associate checklists. And it wasn't because they were told to say it, it was because they are simply doing it. I find that it keeps me extremely accountable. And there's been a couple times where I had forgotten about the new associate checklist, and it kind of made me skip a couple steps. But one thing that I felt like I was shying away from was the you share, they share sometimes, because they're like, oh, I got the reoccurring, oh, I want to see how my results are first before I start sharing with anybody. But Warren Lance went up there on, I think it was the Saturday, and he basically said that when you do the you share, they share, repeat, it creates a door and a floodgate to a whole other group of influence. And that's how you have to look at it, because it's either you're going to keep enrolling, which is the main thing. But as soon as you kind of get them to start joining people on the journey with you, it's a simple thing. And if you're going to say, you know, there's money on the table, or you get your products paid for, or whatever your magical questions are, if you're leaving that out, like, who's going to say, no, you just keep that great information to yourself? So when Warren Lance said that you need to take your own fears of what they're going to think of you and just giving them the opportunity to make the decision for themselves whether they want to share, repeat. So that's how you're going to rank advanced. That's how you're going to go 1-star. That's how you're going to go 2-star. That's how you're going to go to executive. That's how you're going to go to all these different steps. So the moment that you take out that moment of judgment where you think they're going to judge you for thinking that it's about a sale, or they're going to think I'm too salesy, or they're going to think they're this way, you're just being a guidance of information, and you're actually doing a disservice to the person you're coaching by leaving that information out. And I thought that was so powerful that he said that, because I didn't want it to seem like as if I was being selfish and saying that here's what it's going to do for me. But really, when I took that out and here's what it's going to do for them, it made it a lot more simple. So the new associate checklist, it really put it in perspective, and it kind of validated it for me like 20 times over, even though I knew the importance of it. But if even like the big guys, like even Susan Sly, who probably has thousands of people, and she's still doing the simple process from just an executive, right? That to me just speaks volumes, in the sense that you got to do the do, and and that's what Kathy Kruger said. You got to do the do. You're only going to go as far as what you do. Your team's only going to go as far. So leaders are going to be the ones that go first and show the way. And although you may not feel like it, if you keep mastering the mundane, it's eventually going to pay off, and abundance will just flourish in your life.
Awesome. Love it. Thank you, Sabrina. Those were great takeaways. And absolutely, I took that away too, that new associate interview, the new associate checklist is just key. That's why it has to become a culture of our team, is to be filling that out every single time. Because I agree, if all these, Susan Sly has to do it, why I need to do it, that kind of thing. So I think that's great. Renata has something to add. Yes.
Just to add, yes, Susan Sly, the basics. I'm obligated to show you this. When I was doing that, guys, I was creating consultants out of my yin yang. When I stopped doing this, I was just enrolling and helping people get a great product experience. When I say I'm obligated to show you this, at the end of opening the box, oh, 1 more minute. Do you have a piece of paper? Because I'm obligated to show you this.
Mm-hmm.
Get them to draw the circles, right, Michelle? When we do that, we're producing, we're consultant producing machines, and I think that should be the standard for our entire team.
Yes.
This year, we can make the standard consultant producing machines. Everyone, organization is going to flourish this year.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I love it. I love it. We have one more share. Sherry, do you want to share something?
Sure. This weekend, it was amazing. The whole weekend was fantastic, but I guess couple of the things I took away was the follow-up. If we don't follow up, it plant seeds of doubt is what I took away from that. And just the Carol and Peter Taylor tips, the fun. Take fun seriously. Don't overthink everything and just go for it.
Absolutely. It has to be fun. Otherwise, what's the point, right? It's all part of it, right? So I think that's key. Don't forget that a lot of the stuff we're going to be posting in that we were just talking about with the 5 things for our team, looking at that new associate, I'm going to put it into the team so you can grab it quickly, the new associate checklist and interview. It's there for everybody. And one of the things I just want to leave with is Susan Sly said it at the end, and I just thought it was so key, is she said, the people that you're looking for are looking for you. And I think that if we just remember that, then it helps us to share more, right? It helps us to do more. It helps us to go further than maybe we would, because I think that's true. There's people looking for what we have, whether it's the products or the business or both. And so if you could keep that in mind, that they're all looking for you. It's just they're trying to find you, right? But you've got to tell people that you do it so they can find you. And that's really the key. So thanks everybody for joining us live today. Of course, every Monday, 8 o'clock, this call will be going live. So just make sure you hop on and get all of your team onto this call so we can meet them, see them, support them, and build with them on this journey. Make sure you're looking for the op meetings. Remember, this Wednesday is Renata's, and that's going to be a Zoom opportunity meeting that you're going to want to get your people on, but keep checking in for the different ones coming over the next little bit. And of course, everybody can jump on Susan Sly's call now. That should be underway already. And that's one that you kind of want to try to catch each time. So with that, everybody have, the crystal reset. Renata's throwing that in. Yeah, make sure you've got your laminated stuff. I've been laminating too. I'm becoming a laminating machine.
Yeah, Michelle, can I just add one thing?
Yeah, absolutely.
So you guys, we're going to, Michelle and I spoke briefly today that some people were asking about, if we're doing a group as far as the 90-day action plan. And what we thought about doing is that really just gearing the information in the calls for those of you that are, this week is a great week to do the prep week and to complete this, taking time to do your why and, do your map to crystal and get yourself really organized. And but stay in action, keep connecting, but working through this. And then we will take some time through the call to we will be touching on the skills, obviously, which are important regardless of if we're, following this, you've been to the event or not. It's important for us to work on that. But we will touch on, some wins, some different things that you're wanting some help working through, incorporating that into the call. Right, Michelle?
Yeah, absolutely. As we follow along. Yeah, we're just going to follow right along.
All right. Thanks, everyone, for being here. I'll stop the recording.